Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade, where we are beset by enemies from without and from within. Look at this, have you ever seen this level of treachery before? Cypress is so mad, he had to change his name. That's big mad! And yes, we have seen this level of treachery before with Skaven. It happens all the time. It's kind of our core character trait, and we're planning to execute treachery such as this on at least one ally in the near future, so I guess I can't be too upset. Alright, let's get back to it. I had already moved Bilefitch over here for defense, right? Yeah, so these guys are just going to hang out and potentially fight Cypress in the near future. Who needs orders? Vomik. Vomik is probably not going to try to take on Orion's camp by himself. That would be foolish. So we had Stunkritch over here for this reason, right? As long as we're following the river, it shouldn't be a big deal to march while we're still injured. Where do we want to cross? Okay, there's a crossing over here. Let's get on this side of the river. And then probably stick to the river from there. Like, yeah, we can go here and be okay. And then we can walk down the mountains, because those were... The replenishment zone continues down in that direction. Numos is going to need a bell as soon as it's level 2, but given that we cannot yet do that, we do not yet do that. Okay, Remamute and Queek together taking on Black Pyramid. Is that... What was I... Did I have a plan? Does anybody remember if I had a plan? Let's see, we got 2 guys going to Pyrus. I do want to say, also, I should probably mention, apologies for no episode yesterday, or rather for this being yesterday's episode. Personal life, real life stuff happened. Everything's okay. I do not have the thing. It's just stuff got away from me a little bit. Alright, I do want to rebuild this army, because obviously his missile damage bonuses are not super good here in this army, where I don't think, literally no one can equip these. But that sounds like a real post-Pools of Despair problem. I think I'm just going to take the auto-resolve here, save us all some time, because we're going to kick a bunch of these units out of the army anyway. We don't really have to care how they fare, right? Now, the Pools of Despair are not in the same province as any of my recruitment stuff. That's a shame. Did we start building recruitment in Alhaik? Because that's definitely what we do want to do here. Right, we have to have recruitment somewhere on the coast. It may as well be here. But I guess we gotta take Phyrus. Right, Phyrus is that. We gotta take Phyrus and Kofor before we can really get into it. Okay, so with that done for you, you're still being harassed by dwarf agents. Yeah, I guess Queek heads down this way. So Queek doesn't have the ability to recruit anything better than clan rats on the way over. And we do have holes in the army. I guess Queek probably has a wizard coming, right? Is this his wizard? This is a wizard. Yes, this is his wizard. Okay. I guess what we do is we just get on this side of the river and have the wizard join us over here. Alright, I'm gonna try to move to just the edge of the siege engineers' movement range here. We'll group up and we'll push the Black Pyramid together. And then also you can recruit just like a unit of spear rats or something. For the moment, just fill things out. Okay. So Remamute doesn't really need to go anywhere. Just kind of hang out for a second. Yeah, it's not to our benefit to move you. Hidar. Hidar and Cypress need to do a thing. Now, I'm imagining between the two of them this should be fairly easy. Who wants to lead? Probably Hidar, actually, because he has the siege stuff. This should be really, really easy. Although it looks like the game may make us fight it manually. I was expecting the bar to already be pretty much in our favor. I guess, obviously, once we have the second army in range, things are going to get recalculated a little bit. You know what? I'll take it. The 2 units of Skaven slaves died. Also, one of our death runners for some reason. That's weirdly spread out damage. Like, one of the Doom Wheels took almost no damage, and the other one lost 75% of its health. Ooh, Armor of Destiny's a nice find. Cypress is walking around without equipment, because I never bothered to give him any. Let's try to fix that. First of all, Are there any reasonable followers? Any followers you need? Yep, an alchemist should definitely happen. Growth is not a big deal. Research rate no longer matters. Campaign line of sight. That helps. It looks like we didn't really have any other great followers. We're going to be fighting men and dwarves for most of the rest of the game, so we can take on those the guys that give the leadership bonuses there. And then the Storm Banner, we could put this on somebody to lower the missile damage that enemy units deal around them. You have to be within 55 meters of the enemy archer, not the thing that's being hit by the enemy archer, so we could put that on, like, Doom Wheels or Doom Flayers or something, but we might be better off just buffing some melee unit somewhere. Or giving them fire damage. Fire damage is fun. The thing is, the main value of fire damage is that it does a ton of bonus damage against regenerating units, but we're not fighting things that have regeneration, really. Maybe we just go +5 melee attack. That's, it's not insignificant. You are getting... Well, hold on, let's start. We know you want to get that Armor of Destiny. We have Sword of Bloodshed, not too bad on a combat lord. Like 6% is a lot of extra weapon strength. I think that might be the way we want to go. We could give him poison. We could give him the anti-hero sword to give him a self buff that he can cast. I think we want to just go Sword of Bloodshed. Get out there and do as much damage as you possibly can. Be preserved. Do we have a healing thing we could give him for just in case? Yeah, I think that'll work. And then, do we want him to turn around and head back toward Alhaik? Or, I'm probably not in any danger. We may as well keep these two armies together. Can you recruit? Well, technically, yes, you can recruit. We should probably get him a wizard. His army also is in need of magic. Sadly, we do not have much access to plague sorcerers. This will be fine. Akorm the Corrupted, welcome to the team. Warp Stars, Toxic Rain, Veil of Shadows is fun, Armor of Darkness. Yeah, we'll grab one of everything. And we recruit wizards at a real high level now. I think that is a perfectly reasonable initial spend. Okay, we're putting him away. Don't worry about it, guys. I think I can handle this one. It might be close. Alright. And then we should probably head him back in the direction of, like, where things might happen. We haven't seen anybody try to sail for our coast in quite some time, though. We might actually be okay. At upside, you may as well go and harass these dudes. I'm thinking pretty good odds that Cypress goes into raiding mode next turn if he doesn't feel he can safely attack the settlement. So I'm not expecting him to do any replenishment or anything anytime soon. Alright, there's no reason that we need to march here. So we'll get that done next turn, finally. Staden is scouting where he needs to be scouting. You should probably come over to the Black Pyramid. We need scouting, and potentially we need harassment. If there are enemy armies over here, they have to be attacked. There's not really much of a reason for you to do anything other than that as well, because obviously we're cool on these guys for a minute. A critical success. He killed the entire hell out of that guy. So I think Festit was about to become Team Wizard for Queek, right? Before I remembered that we had a siege engineer who was coming back from an injury. Remamute has a wizard. Does anybody still need a wizard? You have a wizard. Deathmaster Snikch does not have a wizard. Okay. You just got redirected. Although I guess it probably makes more sense to have him go this way and have the new wizard go join Snikch, right? Vermis. Do not remember what Vermis was doing. Vermis is part of Infecteek's army now. Right, you're just a normal wizard guy? Yeah. Because this army also needs magic. I like to have something that can make use of I like to have some way of making use of the winds of magic in every army, if I can. No army should have no access to spells. It looks like we probably don't actually need to upgrade the bell, but we may as well. We have a lot of money coming in. Alright, Castle Tempelhof gets capped out. Let's build some of our basic money-making structures here. And then we may as well upgrade some of this stuff while we can afford to do it. The damaged buildings in Firus, yeah, that can stay. That should actually get repaired, unlike most damaged buildings. And I think you're exactly where you need to be, just keeping an eye on Orion. Like, attacking that army is not going to help us. Can we get rid of their agent, actually? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to select the elf agent here. It's tough because that guy's wings keep flapping in and absorbing the click. There we go. Get rid of dare talk. He had a real high chance of success. Myrta, you should be embarrassed. Apparently that should have been really easy for you, I assume. Okay, I think we are in really good shape here. We're going to get a lot of aggressive stuff done. Oh, Gorgazon needs to probably... Do we want to build this here? I guess I'm not going to need a recruitment building. But we need to actually get that, get those defenses built. Now that Gorgazon's main settlement building is 3, that should be the next thing we do. Or the first thing we do on the next turn. Alright, so Lothern is still more powerful than we are, but not by very much, it looks like. That's probably not more than, like, 1 or 2 armies. Exoatl as a whole is looking very soft. Tlaqua is looking very soft. And now that Tlaqua is temporarily no longer at war with us, they cannot contribute to the defense of the Black Pyramid, which they would have been able to do if the war were still on. So I think we're going to get a lot of value out of this temporary peace right before we go and break it all over their faces. It was a desperation move on their part, and it's, you know, it's going to do the thing they wanted it to do, which is to say they're going to survive for probably a couple of turns longer than they otherwise would have. That guy right over there and attack the Skaven rebels? Or no, okay, I think he was trying to assassinate our hero next to the Skaven rebels. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised that we've not really been attacked by the High Elves to this point. They landed an army over here to mess with us once, I think? Okay, that's a really annoying thing for him to do because it's pausing progress on our recruitment, but that's fine. We have a plan. Okay, so a lot of hero actions happened that we don't have to care too much about. Let's make sure we get this done. We may as well get this done too, because now we have an actually maxed out province. Well, sorry, we have to finish building up our rubbish pit. But it's cool to have a totally maxed out province. You need to die horribly in a very easy and quick battle. Don't know what you were even thinking coming over here like this. The clan Scryer separatists. Revenge is a dish best served cold, my dude. You gotta back off and plot for several years. Somebody's never read any fantasy fiction at all. I guess we just... Vomit just stays in place and waits while this continues to happen. Remamute and Queek are not going to be able to hit the pyramid this turn. What does the pyramid actually look like? Okay, it does have an army attempting to build up. Well, we can't get there this turn anyway. So what we really want to do is push just to the other side of the river. Well, I guess we should let our movement be dictated by Queek, because we want to make sure that we're not moving apart from him. I think Remamute may actually be able to get close to him with ambush range left. Apparently there's an army there that I had not seen somehow. I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter except in the sense that they might reveal our ambush position. And Tlaqua does go before Couronne, so if they do reveal our position, it'll be like a little annoying. Just a tiny bit. You don't really have anything you can do. I guess you can just, like, harass these guys. We're not officially at war. I assume that's the reason you failed. Otherwise, you're going to have a stern talking to. Rel just kind of hangs out in the area. I guess I don't really want him to do anything because he's exhausted. Okay, you join up here. And then Infectique can just... Apparently he can jump back across the mountains next turn. Or across the water, rather. Upside... May as well attempt an assassination in kind. Guy tried to kill us, so we try to kill him. I believe this is the last of the rogue armies that are hanging out in my territory, right? At least for the moment. It is going to keep happening. Alright, just heading problems off at the pass. So Scheif now... I guess I was going to take Renowned and Feared. That's probably a good idea. Scheif is now just headed back to defense duty, where he will live the rest of his days, we hope. I guess maybe we should stop by and kill Ratmak. Or yeah, Karlberg has a built-up garrison, so that rebellion is unlikely to be successful. You know, if they had burned it down, I would gladly have rebuilt it. So Rel, you're good as it is. Festit is headed this way. Hold on. Are we going to do any more recruitment? Yeah, Hadar kind of needs to. So I think we wanna hold up for a turn. Let the wizard enter the army, because we can't catch Leonard the Devoted this turn anyway. All right, he can make it about this far. I indicate with my finger on the monitor in an extremely professional and grown-up way. This is what the professionals are always doing. You can just go back to Alhaik. I don't think Leonard the Devoted is in any kind of place to ride on Fyrus. And even if he did ride over there and take it, that would just mean he couldn't escape us catching him on our next turn. So we don't need to stress too much about the fact that Fyrus does not yet have walls. Alright, who else? Trur, what were you... Snitch has a wizard coming. I guess we just have an extra wizard. Oh, this, you know what? I think we had hired this guy and then he got wounded on his way to the army he was supposed to become part of. Valmek already has a caster, although it's not a great caster. Trying to make sure all of our armies have their magics. Remute is a caster himself. Ikitclaw obviously is a wizard. Yeah, man, I don't really know what to do with you. I guess we could have him replace... Where's a warp engineer? We could have him replace a warp engineer in an army somewhere, and then have that warp engineer or warlock engineer run around and gather what do you call it? Run around and gather warp fuel. Somebody told me they have... Where do you see all their map actions? There is a way to see what they can do on the world map when they're not a separated hero, if I'm not mistaken, but I cannot figure out where it is. Well, you know, maybe I don't care that. We're not even using warp fuel all that much. I don't know what to do with your Trur. You know, I hate to say this, but you need to maybe just... Thought that was on the screen. I'm trying to disengage him. Here we go. Disband Trur. Korm the Corrupted. You are the one who was on the way over here? Is that right? Yeah. I guess him and Trur are probably not actually very different. They're both new level 13s, so I could have just integrated Trur into that army. Ah well, whatever. Doesn't matter too much. So we don't really need a bell over here, but a bell is an okay way to make money. How many more tiny settlements could we possibly have? Murta. Hold on. There we go. He gets there eventually. Yeah, that's the thing about Murta. You always got to give him a couple of tries. He's gonna screw it up on the first one, but failure, it turns out, is instructive. He gets there eventually. May as well build ourselves a bell. And is that actually everyone? We know Vomik's in the right spot. We know Ikit Claw's in the right spot. Yeah, okay. That is everyone. It makes me nervous when a turn goes by in less than 40 minutes. Feels like a fewer than 40 minutes, I suppose. Makes me feel like I'm missing things, like I've forgotten to do something that was tremendously important. Which we will then have to find out and be embarrassed by later on. Okay, they did in fact foil my Remamute ambush. I don't really think that Corona's in any position to take advantage of that happening. It's probably fine. But you know, I did the ambush for a reason. I want my armies to be secret. I think there's a pretty good chance that Clan Pestilence is about to get themselves nearly wiped out again. Okay, Lashiek just burned down. Oh, dwarves. Well, we do not have defenses at Bel Elliot. And they burned it down. Rather than take the gold mine for themselves, they burned it to the ground. That seems very spiteful to me. Alright, well that puts Ikit Claw in a little bit of a different position, huh? Kind of changes up that whole area. I thought we were going to have a little bit more time before the dwarf armies showed up. Well, we're very close to killing them. We're also reasonably close to killing Coron. I would really like to focus on one of those things until it is done, but we may not get to make that decision ourselves. It is definitely frustrating to be at war with this many enemies. And by this many, I mean more than one at a time ever. So you can just suddenly get hit in so many places, from so many angles. Okay. So Stuncritch can now begin a proper approach. There's no reason we need to stay on our side of the line. Except that obviously we don't want to get so close that Arian's camp can participate as reinforcements. How far can Vomik move while maintaining ambush distance? Actually, quite far. So I think this is the plan. Vomik steps out, gets into ambush mode. You step to here, and we just hope that Findle falls for this, because obviously if he comes out here and gets ambushed, we are going to eliminate his faction next game. Or next turn, which would be really nice. Nice to not have to worry about that nonsense. Okay, we are in position to do this thing. So Queek is in pretty good shape. Remamute is in pretty better shape. And the Black Pyramid has a large garrison, but it looks like not a great garrison, certainly not a very powerful one. I suppose I could have had my heroes attack the garrison before going for this. Wait, am I not getting... No, they're still not showing up as reinforcements. What the hell? He's literally right next to me. Okay, even closer? No? Am I not in siege mode here? Continue siege. Oh, I can't get closer because of the other Bretonnian army standing next to it. That's the problem. Those circles cross right here. There we go. That's a little bit more like what I was expecting to see. Ooh, wow, that's a lot of gold. Apparently Luan Leoncoeur was in there somewhere. One of the many, many Bretonnians that we just slayed. Okay, so you guys can just take a second and recover and be back at full very soon, which is great news. So what do we want next? Oh, I guess we haven't finished Survivalist. The third point in a skill that you've already taken 2 points of is usually the correct answer to that question. So if we build the Vault of Nagash, 10% magic resistance for all of our armies, plus 30 winds of power. I mean, the corruption will be weird here, but we will totally deal with it. And it has an 18-unit base garrison. That's lovely. And it's actually going to be food positive as a province. You don't see that every day. Alright, Hedar. We had a whole plan where I was going to put pressure on Corone and take Kofor from them, and now I wonder if that is the right move. I mean, I don't want to leave them alive, obviously. You don't want to let your opponents recover.
Master Commander.
But we do have to deal with these dwarves. Probably the right play is to go for the dwarves and just try to finish them off. Are these the only 2 settlements they have? They have 3. Oh, right, because they hold the Desert of Assassins, too. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's finish off the dwarves' time. So we move our armies in that direction. Don't really like letting Leonard the Devoted just rebuild.
Stink of command.
I can't get him this turn either way. So we head down here. As usual, I think we're going to have Sieprich go into ambush mode, and then we'll have Hedar step up and start obviously recruiting behind him, in the hopes that this perceived weakness will draw a dwarven army forward. Boy, I sure do need a whole bunch more Skaven slaves in my army, obviously. They gotta fall for that, right? My acting was flawless.
Scurry forward. More warpstone. Now, now.
Do we want Ikitclaw to move at all? So these guys can't quite reach me in normal movement mode.
Bigger warp forges.
It's weird that the dwarves resurrected Bel Aliad so that the or emptied Bel Aliad so that the Bretonnians could resurrect it instead of just going for the gold mine themselves. I'm not really clear on why that would be the thing they did. Sadly, it looks like I'm probably not in a good position to recruit gunners right now, because obviously that's what I was going to do. We might need to just grab some more death runners or something. We're going to need to be ready to move next turn. We'll rebalance this army at some point. I definitely want to. Alright, Deathmaster Snitch is finished recruiting. So is there a place over here anywhere where I am not suffering attrition damage? Because I want to move, obviously, in this general direction, but I want to do so... in a way that I'm not taking attrition damage and also the wizard can join up. It looks like we might just be out of luck on that one. Alright. We'll go to like here. We will accept a small amount of attrition. You know, they'll have time to replenish and stuff before we actually get anywhere near any enemies. I'm gonna come over here, and we're not gonna drive the rebels off of Karlberg. I'm kind of curious if they'll burn it down, because if they do, then we get to take control of it and actually own the province, and that could be pretty good for us. I do so love to get to complete a province. Alright, you need to head in the direction of the dwarf conflict. You need to run from these Sudenburgers. I guess. I mean, it doesn't really help him to fight with them. But maybe it would be a good idea to leave Rel over here so that we at least have an idea of what's going on with these other forces that could backstab us at any moment. I've talked out loud many times about how I plan to backstab them. You gotta think they probably heard some of that. Alright, Cherry Flesh is back. Let's get over here into dwarf territory. Camry gets leveled, you get basic defenses, because obviously I want to finish off the gold mine quite badly. Okay, Kadrin, one of these. You can spend an awful lot of time and money upgrading a province. Not going to bother with the Undercity buildings there. Once we have all the stuff we want, there are still Undercity buildings to build in, like, the area of Ulthuan. This is where we should probably actually do a thing. Did we actually get all of our armies? Yeah, it sure looks like it. Okay, and we can run the dominating scheme. I figure we ought to. The public order will help a little bit in the areas we've just conquered. The growth, obviously, is great pretty much everywhere. And am I about to pass the turn with 8,000 gold up? That doesn't seem right. I mean, I guess we could go and start building some of those Undercity buildings I was talking about. Oh, hey, this city has a whole bunch of stuff to build. Except that there's not really a lot of money to be made. Well, let's definitely upgrade Stone Mine Tower. We could upgrade this thing. This will return a fair amount of extra gold. Okay, that seems reasonable-ish. I wonder if this will be the final push of the dwarves. My guess is we're going to see their armies at least one more time, because it's going to take a while, even if we do effortlessly defeat them in the field here, and then have to immediately ride down and get the rest of their settlements. It's so much ground to cover that I think we probably will not be able to do it before they can respawn these armies one more time. But imagine a world where we're not constantly fighting dwarves. Just close your eyes and think about that for a second. Doesn't that sound okay? Doesn't that sound just fine? Not good necessarily. Good's a long way to go. My reliability rating is low. Okay, Salt Spite's coming in and dealing with Bretonians for us. I'll take that. Why is my reliability rating low? Hasn't it been quite a long time since we broke a deal with somebody? Aha, you fool! Look at this. Look at this beautiful ambush we set up. Alright, we don't exactly know... I'm going to take the replenishment here. We don't exactly know where all of the Dwarven armies are. So it could be the case that this ambush won't actually let us pressure. Because we also know that on the income from like 2 settlements, we've seen them run 5 or 6 stacks at a time. We're definitely going to need some scouting over here. Also, I don't know who Belagar Ironhammer thinks he is, just charging straight for our settlement in the middle of our armies, but he's got to know he's going to get collapsed on, right? It's like whatever the opposite of a delta split is, a delta join. Our sorcerers are getting wounded, which is a thing that should not be happening. There's too many damn enemy units. Alright, the forest elves also fell for our fantastic ambush. It's the gift that keeps on giving, you know? That play is just... it keeps being right forever. Alright, let's see what we can make of some of this. I have no interest in a mechanical claw. Fested has been wounded, which is just like super annoying. Remamute is feeling loyal again. Alright. It's possible that we have enough banners and followers. We don't really need to accept any more, probably. So this should be totally trivial then. Maybe even one army trivial? Yes, that's excellent news. Alright, so take over the forest. We now own the heart of the jungle here in the heart of the desert. Sort of off to the side of the desert. This one also has that bad uninhabitable magic forest climate, so it's going to take forever for this place to get developed, and we are going to take public order here, I think, as our commandment. So then Stunkrich doesn't really need to stay around. What do we want to do with him? Have a look at the map here. Trying to figure out which of these 2 forces we're going to betray first. It looks like maybe Sudenburg? I guess it depends on exactly how much military force is in the Springs of Eternal Life here. Can you see that from my side of the border? I guess, actually, not very good for you to try, even. Is there anywhere around here that we could be in non-attrition mode? That's a body of water, right? Nope, that's just kind of a burned-out pit on the ground. There's trees and stuff over here. Yeah, okay, we'll do this. Looks like there's no army in the Springs of Eternal Life. Well, if my reliability rating is low anyway, I see no reason not to just break the alliances immediately. I was gonna try to maintain a semblance of trustworthiness. No more. Alright, so we just got a couple of points here. We probably don't have any gutter runners or night runners in this army. Yeah, so neither of these other red line skills are actually any good. Let's go for... We don't really need any of the stuff that our blue line offers. So we'll take Warpstone Weapon. But then we're probably going yellow line and just making him a better duelist. So it looks like Hidar can actually catch up with Belagar Ironhammer, which he probably was not planning on being the case. Let's go ahead and do that. Even if we don't hit an ambush here, this should be a very, very easy victory. The dwarves are tired and they are massively outnumbered. No, the Doomwheel did not die while all of the Skaven slaves survived. This is why I'm leery of auto balance early on in the game, because it kills units in ways that don't make sense, and it seems to like killing your valuable units. Okay, we do have regiments of renown available. I don't know why it was acting like we didn't earlier. Were we not in friendly territory when we were looking at that? Or you know what? All of those might have been in the same army, actually. They might have been in Ikit Claw's army. So they all became available on the same turn because they were all lost on the same turn. That might be the case. Alright, can I move you to a position where you are not suffering attrition? Is there any such position in your immediate area? Can't get close enough to those trees, so I guess... You might be able to. Okay, yeah, you can do that. And you can just stay as close to him as possible and suffer. Sorry there, Seabrick. We did our best. Okay, Remamute and Queek Headtaker. If we do turn on Sudenburg... See, we put an army next to the very poorly defended Springs of Eternal Life. We send these two armies to the Black Tower of Archon. Then their only settlement after that is Sudenburg itself, which is sadly also a major settlement with also actual walls. We could try to just push through to deal with the dwarves, I suppose. Hold on, I need an agent over here to run down and show me what the dwarf situation is south of me. It turns out there isn't one. Not really. Let's stealthily move Ikit Claw forward to reclaim Bel Aliad. We'll see if any dwarves show up again. But I'm hoping to reunite, to get these three armies together, pushing into the mountains pretty soon. So, what does that mean for Remamute? We could just try to go past Sudenburg to contribute these guys to the dwarf fight. But I really do think we're going to declare war on them soon. So let's try to do that. Let's try to get you two into positions where you can be useful in fighting Sudenburg. Try to find, here we go, a place where we're not actually suffering from attrition damage. They do have an awful lot of armies around, don't they? You can't actually go into stealth mode, that's fine. One army doesn't look quite as scary to them. I think that right there is where you live for the foreseeable future. Queek is already good. Ikit Claw's already good. Scheif needs to... Oh, it looks like the siege of Karoberg has ended already. So yeah, Scheif just needs to get, like, over here. Where are you guys going? I guess they're just going this way to help with all this, so...
Marching.
There we go, once again to a position where we actually have some replenishment. I'm a little worried about Quantu here. What do we think the odds are that the AI is going to betray me? Probably not super high. Computers are pretty bad at treachery. But I guess it's a thing I wouldn't necessarily want to be certain of. Or rather, I would want to be certain. I don't want to act certain of. We might end up leaving Vomit in place for a little while, which is obviously not totally ideal, but my guess is we're going to see a rebellion before control of the forest is properly cemented, and I certainly don't want to have to run anybody back for it.
Silent killer. Yes, yes.
That said, he probably doesn't need any agents. Okay, staging's good. Then over here in the crater. Okay, Numos needs a bell pretty badly. I will turn off Cessation for a second until that's finished at the very least. Pools of Despair are not super pivotal. Same is pretty much true of Kislev, but we may as well spend all of this population we're acquiring, right? Alright, that province is reasonably well developed. We're actually building up a surplus of food. We have food. So much food that we're not even going to go totally broke at the beginning of next turn. Which is a very strange feeling. Yeah, I really question what these Tlaqua armies are doing. Like I said, I don't really expect them to betray us, but what the hell else could they be doing with these positions? We are already building walls at Gorgazon, right? Like, that place is going to be defended soon. The army standing right outside of that is making me a little nervous. So it is probably time, even though we're not quite done with our business yet here in the Southlands, it is probably time to turn our eyes to our remaining objectives. We're getting real close here, and we need to start making, Oh, Seeprich has been successfully hero-actioned one too many times. We don't want to lose focus or anything, but it might be time to start making long-term strategic moves in the direction of our objectives. Pyrrhus is, in fact, undefended against Réponse de Lyonesse and her 2 units of cavalry. To be perfectly honest, I think even with us running this personally, we might lose. That's not a big loss. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to use over here as far as pressuring the dwarves. We might want to have both of those armies in the northern part of the desert just turn around and crush her, because with the Sartosan pirates coming in and capturing stuff off of them as well, they're actually in a really desperate position. If they lose Pyrrhus, they have nothing on the coast, is that right? Boy, I just don't care about any of this at all. Yeah, the low loyalty thing is really not, at this point, dangerous for us at all. It's like a weird game of whack-a-mole where I don't personally have to whack the moles. The moles sort of come forth and offer to be whacked, and I just say, yes, whack yourself. Except, obviously, you don't spend a lot of time in life literally saying the phrase, yes, whack yourself. Unless you're a mob boss with particularly incompetent foes. Alright, so the Black Tower of Archon will require both armies to actually push it. We should probably have somebody veer off to deal with Stigvan von Volkvan. Alright, I think we can just have these guys run over to the Pools of Despair. And with Snitch and Stab here, we probably don't need Seeprich and Hadar to come down, so they can go back to that. You just make it back to Alhaik and heal up. You get nearby. How's Xandri doing on defenses? It is short population. That'll be solved soonish. Kind of soonish. Alright, so I think we are declaring war this turn.
The Empire's scouts will hear you.
I don't need to call my allies to help. It doesn't really help us to do so. Huh. Oh, it's comparing the full strength of all of their allies to our thing. I guess if I do this, it does pull Tlaqua back into the war immediately, which is maybe not a good idea. They are defensive allies. Okay, Gorgazon does have proper walls, so Quantu won't get to take anything right away. And also, Quantu's army is kind of garbage. But maybe we might want more time to prepare for that, prepare our positioning for that. Are you close enough to be... You are, in fact, close enough to be attacked by this army. If we have Snikch right here, then Ikit Claw can just take him instead of taking Bel Aliad. Yeah. So we're not too worried about Quantu getting... Quantu would probably be able to get Zandri, though, right? Yeah, just barely. We could split these armies up. We could have two of them keep pushing forward while one falls back to deal with that, because it's definitely a one-army kind of situation. Yeah, we might actually survive just fine here. Alright, let's declare it. Trying to see, do we know where there are any other... No, we do not. Yeah, I guess let's call our allies to help, just in case something goes horribly wrong here. Nagarond might turn out to be relevant. What do you mean, no? Just go and attack it. It's not even a hard battle. He actually said no out loud, like he's allowed to do that. Okay, you are already immortal. I didn't screw that up, apparently. Have all of your spell stuff, so... It's probably red line over blue line, I think. We just don't need the blue line army buffs that much anymore. Okay, so we're about to have a rebellion outside Numos. So that's what this army is doing now. That's a shame, because, like, Bagar and Tak are right there. I guess it's going to be a little while before the situation in Elftown becomes dire enough to really... to really warrant an army coming back to put down a rebellion. Vomik can roll out and grab this. Kassabar can do that. We probably want one of you to run out and grab Stig. Who is the one who's attacking the settlement? It's probably the guy with the 2 catapults. So we'll have the other army grab Stig van von Volkvan, or at least cause him to retreat. And then we might have to march mode to get to reinforcement position, which is why I wanted to make sure one of these guys was able to commit basic movement. Okay, I think this should still work. Take the replenishment. And I mean, the worst case scenario is we don't have the movement range and we end up just launching the attack next turn instead, but it looks like it's fine. Make sure we get as close to the settlement as possible. There we go. Alright, the Black Tower of Archon, unfortunately... You know, I had plenty of food. I could have started this at tier 3. I'm so used to not having any food, you know? Well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It probably will not matter what level this is. Okay, so Snikch is not quite close enough for the ambush, or for the assist. I sure hope we get the ambush here, because I don't want Tic-Tac-Toe to be able to fall back. And then that's probably going to mean we can't get Bel Aliad, right? Yeah, it's just a little bit too much movement. Alright, well you should come back over this side of the line, then. And at least get ourselves a little bit of replenishment. Alright, so I think that means Bilefitch is the one who's falling back, and these two can advance together. Fektik is actually exactly where he needs to be. Apparently Castle Carcassonne still has upgrades we can do. You know what? Hold on. We'll deal with the money in a second. I can actually go and participate in that. You're fine. Erat needs to scout Sudenberg's position down here, because they suddenly have very little territory remaining. Yeah, we're gonna wrap Sudenberg up real fast. I guess it's important you stay down here. Keep an eye on these two settlements. Until we manage to get them under control. You can go and annoy him. We're seeing a lot of low-level lords out of Tlaqua. They just have tic-tac-toe and then like a rotating cast. I'm assuming that their actual generals are getting killed in combat, not just defeated, but actually murdered. And I guess here we just want to remove somebody from the table if we can. Try to prevent enemy hero actions from happening too often and giving those negative traits to our lords. It is worth noting that the negative traits are not a big deal. It's just increased chance for heroes to do bad stuff to our armies. So it's far from being a real problem. These are the same. Should definitely level that up. We have an imminent rebellion in the Ash River. We knew that. Cherry Flesh is a real assassin, so this sort of doesn't matter. He is a dedicated assassin, and then 20,000 gold. So I guess one way we can handle that is by just clicking down the list here. Boy, arcane generators feel bad here, huh? At max level, it's going to be like 150 gold. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of money left to be made. But hold on, we'll worry about that later. Let's make sure we're leveling up places that might matter even a little bit before we go leveling up the old elf forest, which is almost guaranteed not to matter. Then again, Averland also pretty unlikely to matter. Baston, Black Mountains. We don't really care about any of this stuff too much. Blood River Valley similarly does not matter. We should probably finish building the defenses at least, though. Do I not have... Yeah, I don't have the Cinnabar Pit up. We should probably do that. Then this should still leave us with enough money to start the raiding warrens. Okay. It's a huge amount of money. Also, we finally got a third barrel of warp fuel. Alright, so if Huntazak and Quantu are the only armies that Tlaqua has left, we're in pretty good shape here. So I guess let's just hope that's the case. Why have a plan when you could just hope? And no matter what you have your animation speed set to, it seems to run these at normal speed, which is why I try not to set a lot of multi-turn move orders. In case you were wondering why I was being so weird about that earlier. All this time adds up. Somehow, Clan Pestilence continues to to be an annoyance. Man, we have such a huge undercity underneath Ulthuan. Okay, Xandri gets attacked, which is not a big deal. We could try to defend this. No, I'm not going to worry about it. They did good damage, and then this army gets cleaned up real soon by the army we're sending north. So he didn't even take the settlement. I guess we can't be surprised by that at this point. And yet, somehow I still am. It's really remarkable. It's almost like a superpower, my ability to be surprised by obvious things. It might not sound like much of a superpower, but think how much fun I have. Think how wondrous the world must appear. Sartosa is going to try to take that settlement from us. That's annoying in more than the usual way. Obviously, we never like it when our allies get settlements that we were planning on getting, because it makes it hard for us to take them back. But remember, every settlement that Sartosa holds makes the backstab turn on them just a little bit more complicated. And I'm not really interested in complicated at the moment. Smooth. Smooth is what I am interested in. We just want things to happen cleanly. So let's take a moment here at the beginning of the next turn, which is probably the last turn of this video, and just look at our objectives. Look at the list of important cities. Okay, Numas is being rebellioned. That is definitely under control. Do we want rocket boots? I don't want to have to equip them. It's a waste of our time. Alright, a bunch of incompetent men attempted to assault my garrisons. Objectives. Okay. We're doing very well. We do not actually have 50% Skaven corruption across all owned provinces, but that's just because some of our territory is quite new. This will complete itself. We do not have to think about it. All of these are corrupted enough. We still have to take out Corona and the pirates. We're working on it. Of the cities that we need, we have 4, 8, 11, 13, and we are not actually on the road to getting any more right now. None of these are... Well, I mean, we'll get Sartosa for free when we kill the Sartosans. So, in a sense, we can already count that. So, 14. We need to pick up 3 more somehow. Itza, not particularly easy to get. Hexawaddle, actually harder to get. Nagarond, even worse. So, it's looking like the Galleon's Graveyard, Sartosa, of course, and then Gaean Vale and Lothern. It's probably the plan. It's 2 cities in sort of the southern part of this, what do you call it, Ulthuan. Obviously, setting foot on Ulthuan is going to be a big deal. We're going to have to fight an awful lot of elf armies all at once, but it's important to remember, if we go ahead and take everything else, it's important to remember that we won't have to hold this stuff for very long. We just need to be in control of 17 cities from the list for one single turn. So we're probably going to employ some trickery and treachery to make that victory condition get satisfied. Alright, let's go conquer. All we needed was a couple turns respite, you know? Like, is it worth leveling this up? No, probably not. I'm not going to bother with these minor settlements that we're taking out in the desert. We have plenty of time to just build them up. Stonecritch can go for... Oh, he doesn't quite reach Bagar. That's a shame. There's not really anything else for him to... Oh, no, Stonecritch has a job. That's right. He's got that under control. Vomit can handle this stuff by himself. No problem. Remamute and Queek are headed for this area. So does Sudenburg have a big garrison? It does. It does not have a lot of army defending it, though. Where do I stop being in attrition mode? That's pretty far forward. You know what? We can probably just not worry about ambush on this one, because of the fact that this is probably Sudenburg's only army, and that's probably like for the rest. That's probably true for the entire rest of the game. I wanted to make sure we managed to cram ourselves into the same little bit of trees so as to avoid the damage. So yeah, Sudenburg is probably never going to actually be able to fight ever again. We'll never have an army with enough bodies in it. Okay, you guys... Virus is not really a 2-army job. Right, so we're going to have Bilefitch head north, or I guess... Can somebody attack him this turn? No, he's far enough north that nobody gets him this turn. I was going to say, if one of you can just get the job done right now, we have that guy do it. It looks like that's not in the cards. So we're going to try a slightly sneaky approach in the hopes that this will keep him from panicking and fleeing. What I'd love to see him do is actually just settle Xandri and keep him in place that way. Alright, you desperately need to level up some of your spells. So what do we care about most? Veil of Shadows is pretty cool. Added contact effect. Okay, so it doesn't normally cause that leadership drop. That's not bad. I think I'm going to try to max out Brittlebone, though. And then do we grab Bel Aliad or do we push south? Yeah, I mean, we should grab Bel Aliad. Let's have Ikit Claw do that. And the only real question here is, do I keep them together?
Never.
What do you mean never? Get over there and do the thing. Okay, I guess I'm going to keep them together because we can see more armies over in the mouth of the mountain pass. Also, for some reason, I'm getting a really bad auto-resolve result here, which definitely should not be the case. This is like an extremely easy battle, even with just the one army. Here, I'm going to go ahead and max this out right away, because it would be nice to get a wall up here, just in case. Also, you know, the gold mine. The gold mine is cool. We may as well repair that as well. Does Snake have enough movement left to... Yeah, let's drop him out of tired mode. Alright, do we want to use 2 armies to take Virus? It's probably not necessary, right? Seeprich is... Okay, I think we're going to have Seeprich just move south right now. Hedar takes Virus by himself. Well... Do we need the second army? Probably not. We probably don't need to spend food leveling this up either. You wouldn't be able to attack in the first turn. Oh, this army is a joke. Yeah, Leoness's. Réponse de Lyonesse does not actually provide us a lot of value here. So, Seeprich is going to just move down to... I mean, I don't want to move him too far forward, because if his ambush gets broken, he's actually in a little bit of danger here. We don't really know where the dwarves are, like what the state of their military is. And I don't necessarily want to run so far south that Hedar can't catch up with me. You know, I'm just gonna move. Are you in Alhaik? You are. Why are you not receiving replenishment? Not receiving replenishment because local effects. That's weird. We own this province. Okay, well. Yeah, just wait here, I guess. Helps keep the public order slightly under control. And repair that. Also, I guess Hedar should get leveled. So we have our red line stuff. We have the basics of our yellow line stuff. Is there anything else I want on the yellow line? Honestly, armor is totally worthwhile, especially for a guy on a big mount like that. I guess if you're going to just be hanging around, maybe we do run him over by Hedar just to prevent any unwelcome surprises. We don't have enough movement to grab this, and even if we did, doing that would mean we'd be behind Hedar next turn, which I don't want to do. Now, you know what? He's fine. Alright, who else needs orders? Infectique is exactly where he's supposed to be. Scheif apparently needs a level up. Whip Smart's pretty good. Then we're just having him hang out near Bordello, right? I guess as long as you're just sitting here, you can grab a unit. You have no siege stuff at all, so why don't we take the Warp Lightning Cannon? Alright, we may as well harass these guys a little bit. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop them from being able to take Xandri. And they certainly already don't have even the slightest chance against Biofitch's army, so I'm not really accomplishing a ton by doing that. Sadly, your job is probably to go and fight all of those guys. Can you take one of them out? Okay. We might be alright here. They don't have a large enough ball of agents to make our lives really miserable. And Erat, I guess just harass these guys. They're probably going to just heal that off, but maybe he'll do enough damage that they will remain softened. Okay, Sheriff Flesh probably needs to get eyes inside the mountains. We need to know what's going on Also, that's good information. So yeah, there's a lot of enemies nearby.
Quick kill.
We are not in the clear, not in any way.
Move tails.
Okay, you are the last one on the list, and we don't want to do anything with you. Zendri, we may as well start repairing because we have a lot of extra money, but odds are pretty good that those repairs are not going to complete, obviously. We can turn off taxation here for a little while. And then 11,000 gold remains. Let's see here. Sankaron. Death Pass? Okay, I mean, we may as well. This doesn't matter too much, though. In the Eastern Border Princes, things are fine. They could always be finer. Still negative here. Oh, also there's... yeah, jeez. There's food that for some reason we are not building. Let's get that solved. But yeah, we have managed to get the loss of food now, the turn-over-turn loss of food, low enough that we are starting to be able to offset it by winning lots of battles. Whereas before, even on turns where we won lots of battles, we immediately lost all or almost all of the food again. So one way we could make this, one way we could try to make this Ulthuan thing work is to get the undercities that we have underneath Gaenvale and Lothern to simultaneously try to build doom bombs. We just burn the settlements to the ground. Oh, he broke my ambush. Yeah, just burn the settlements to the ground and then move in and settle them right underneath the elves' noses. That's a bad strategy in the long term because obviously the weakened settle armies would get crushed. But again, I think we only have to own them at the end of one turn. So if we just synchronize that well enough, it could work. The Sartosans are actually doing some work down there, actually being helpful. God, I cannot wait until we are done with these ghosts. And they're successfully wounding all the wizards out of my armies, which is incredibly annoying. It's a thing that benefits them not at all. I don't know, I guess it might benefit them a little, depending on whether they actually get into contact with those armies. Okay, us driving Rapunzel off into the sea is not necessarily great. She's not going to be able to recruit out there, but she can just wait until we move away from Pyrrhus again. And I certainly don't want to leave an army at Pyrrhus long enough to develop walls. That's annoying. We might be able to catch her, but I doubt it. We could try to pull Infectique down, since it looks like the High Elves are not intending to bother us, and we do have Scheif up in the north anyway. The constant harassment of our wizards is so annoying. Okay, so you're doomed. Can hit our reach response. Yes, it looks like it. And they are... oh, they're not in full sail mode, so they might survive it. You know what? Let's do it. We're not going to play the whole turn out, but I do want to see if we can just get rid of her right now. Nope, of course not. Well, come over here and get back on land. That's very annoying, though. So I guess he's just stuck here. Seeprich will come down and be a part of this thing, but... and we do have to take them out. So this is 2 full stacks of dwarves by the time we get down here. I'm sure Grumbrindle is 1 or 2 turns at most away from filling that army. Yeah, things are not, they're not quite easy yet. And I'm also sure that Mordin... what is that guy's name? Mordin Arkhandrazkalson. Huh. Is going to get replaced with a legendary lord any minute now, as soon as one of the legendary lords becomes unwounded. So we still have a real fight left here. This is less of a fight. It's a lot of armies, but it's not a lot of guys in total. Yeah, this we could probably handle with 2 armies. The dwarves. Eternal thorns in our side. This is unfortunately where we are going to have to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, which I'm hoping will be soon, to make up for the, the lost episode. For more dwarf smashing action, apparently. Someday we'll be through them. And we'll see you then.